Hello and welcome to an annual tradition here on RazorwireReviews, looking back on the previous year and looking ahead to the year to come. In this case, looking back on 2022, Jesus Christ, and looking ahead to 2023. So as I like to do every year, get my phone up with all the videos on and scroll through and just kind of remind myself what I've done, talk to you about it, and then give you my channel update for the new year. Now, I was interested to find out like what my output was this year. So I counted, and there were a total of 69 videos released in 2022. By comparison, in 2021, I released 110 videos. Makes sense. I was a lot busier in 2022. In 2020, the first pandemic year, the year of all the lockdowns, I released 125 videos. Now, 2019, I released 189 videos. I didn't go that far back because it would take me all night to count everything, but clearly there's been a decline in my channel of videos, and I felt that, but you get busier and time becomes less, but there's also a specific reason for the slowing down of videos in the latter half of 2022, which we'll get to, but let's just start right from the beginning, which was my, I'm not sure if the looking back on 2021 video was released actually at the beginning of the year or not, and it's really difficult. They make it so hard to find out the dates now on YouTube. I just want to click on something and see when I posted it, and it's like 11 months ago, which may mean 13 months, it may mean 9 months, you never know. And now I have to scroll back all the way to the beginning again, which is fantastic, but I'm pretty sure that the 21st of January, what the hell? Really? I thought I usually posted these pretty close to like New Year. Let me have a look at the other one, which was my Lord of the Rings video. Yeah, 31st of December. So I waited 22 days. I did not remember that. Anyway, so don't need to recap that video. I did the Letterboxd Around the World movie challenge. I thought that would be a fun idea. I didn't keep up with it at all, I have to say. Unfortunately, I thought it was a good idea. And I wanted to kind of make it a community thing, but it just never really found. People liked the idea, it just never seemed to find its footing. I did my Conquer My Collection 2021 wrap-up, which was going through all the kind of Blu-rays that I'd watched in the previous year. I'm going to try and do that one for this year as well. I did a pretty large 2022 Blu-ray update, which was a pretty massive hour and 18-minute odyssey of itself. And in February, I released The Last Jedi Dreams, which was a montage of the film The Last Jedi set to one of my favorite songs by my favorite band, Rush, called Middletown Dreams. There's no real connection there. It just was a song I loved, and I just started picturing Star Wars, and I thought maybe I could do something with this. And it took me about a year and a half to edit, and that's mainly procrastinating and not doing anything, but it was the most intensive montage edit I've ever done. I'm really proud of it. There's a few things I want to tighten up and do kind of a George Lucas cut of it, but got 3,000 views. The director, Rian Johnson, saw it and commented on it. Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, saw it and commented on it. And the editor of the film, Bob Doucet, also replied super duper, I think, which is nice. So the director, the editor, and the Jedi all liked that month. I thought it was really good. I was really proud of it. I do have contact information for Paul Hirsch. After I did my interview with him a couple of years ago, he was the editor of the original Star Wars and The Empire Strikes Back, won the Oscar for editing the first Star Wars film. And I thought I'd send it to him, being a fellow editor, and he just replied with, I don't know, he says, I don't know what this is supposed to be. And I was like, oh, brutal, but I love him for that. He's very honest, and he just didn't see, he said he didn't see the point. Fair enough. It was just for fun, but anyway, it was something I was kind of proud of, and I really liked I experimented a lot with match cutting and things like that. I might do a video talking about that at some point in more depth, just to stroke my own ego a little bit further. I made a weird mashup called Werner Herzog's Star Wars, if Werner Herzog directed Star Wars in 1976. It's really because there was a movie of his that I watched, which the ending took place in Skellig Michael in Ireland, which is the location for The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, with the island that Luke is on. So I just used footage of that set to Star Wars music. There was nothing elaborate about it, but it got 5,000 views. I did a Conquering My Collection episode of the Blu-ray Roulette, which was my number 1000 conquered video. So basically my watch list of all the films I own in my collection, shorts, features, documentaries, was at 1000. And by watching this last randomized pick, I got down to underneath 1000, which was a huge deal for me. I'll talk more about that Conquering My Collection thing in a new video in 2023. I did my over 9,000 subs video, which was a direct homage to a video that Zara Neisrak made many, many years ago. And I thought to myself, man, if I ever get 9,000 subscribers, which seemed impossible to me, I'm going to recreate that video. So that's exactly what I did. And I then released a kind of the original versus my version. I think I kind of did a pretty good job of trying to match it as closely as possible. And for the people who got the joke, I think they enjoyed it. I did a complete Blu-ray collection overview. I did a 4-part in-depth kind of, I guess it was almost 2 hours long in 4 parts, a Conquering My Collection review of the Coco Trilogy Criterion box set. That was one of my favorite kind of viewing experiences of the previous year, I think, when I got around, I think it was 2021, but I got around to kind of making a nice kind of dedicated 4 videos for each of the 3 films and then the Criterion box set as a whole. Made a video celebrating 10 years of Ryan Chataway's 24-hour movie marathon, but didn't mark that monumental year with releasing one of my own. More on that in the to come in 2023 section of this video. Some more Blu-ray update videos, a lot of Conquering My Collection stuff, some Star Wars Forever videos. I reviewed the Book of Boba Fett, and I did 2 videos on the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. I talked about asking for help for my feature-length documentary about my grandpa, which I've been getting messages about, people saying, "Where's the documentary about your grandpa?" Like I said straight up in those videos, like I don't know when I'm going to get to release it, if I'll even release it on YouTube. And the only update I have right now is that it's a timing issue, and getting to pass away certain chunks of time in a day to do a multi-hour interview with a family member has been very difficult with my schedule and their schedule. I'm hoping in the new year now to get things done, but I'm still hugely indebted to the people who donated so that I could get, fund this new camera, so that I could get more memory cards and the equipment that I showed in the follow-up video and stuff, the hard drives. And I have conducted my first interview. I went to a pub and met with a friend of my gramps, and that was a very special day for me. He was visiting from Texas, was only going to be around for a few days. We managed to just about make it. And it was kind of a surreal experience to be sat down in a pub with a guy in his 70s who you've never met before, telling stories about your grandfather from when they were younger than I am now. It was a very weird experience. It's not going to be a big part of the film, but it was a big part of the journey of making that film for me. So I was really glad to get to do that a couple of months ago. I reviewed some TV shows and stuff, the new Stranger Things, and I randomly did a whole review series on Better Call Saul. So the 6th and final season was coming out last year, and I decided to do a breakdown. And really what happened was the 6th season of the show was running, and I was watching it week by week enthralled. And then what happened was there was a mid-season break, and it was a very dramatic episode that made me feel sick to my stomach. So I thought I'm going to go back and watch the first episode of Better Call Saul just to kind of cleanse my palate, so I don't have that horrible image in my head for the next 6 weeks waiting for the final 5 or 6 episodes of the final season. So I watched the first episode, then the second, and the third, and the fourth, and the fifth. And I basically just did a 50-hour flashback. I watched all 5 seasons in a few weeks. So I thought, let's just review these. So I did an epic series. Almost every video review of each season was about an hour long. And I was really, really proud of how I reviewed them. I took a lot of notes and prepared myself well for each video. I felt like it rambles around a lot, of course. It's not very linear and chronological, but I think I covered a lot of stuff in each review of each of those 5 seasons. And that led really nicely into the final 5 or 6 episodes, and I reviewed each one as they came out, did a live reaction for the final episode. I did some funky intros, which I was really happy with. I even matched the new intro that they used at the very end of the season, and I matched it pretty perfectly, if I don't say so myself. I enjoyed doing that stuff. It was fun. I wish I could have made it even more special by editing in clips and pictures, but there was just no way I had the time to do that. But that was something that I'm really happy with that. That I now have on record on video me reviewing the best show I've ever seen and talking about it and gushing about it for like, I don't know, probably a good 8 or 9 hours. So I'm really happy I made that series. I wanted to do that for Breaking Bad many years ago, and I never really got that far with it. And so I'm happy that I did the Breaking Down Better Call Saul series. I also did a nice chat video with Daisuke Beppu. That was a lot of fun. It was nice to chat with him again. It'd been quite a while. It was a very random chat, but it was a highlight of my year just to kind of sit down with Daisuke for an hour or so and just talk about movies. Hopefully we can do it again in 2023. I made my video about are some Blu-rays worth owning anymore? That got a lot of views on the channel, and it's an interesting topic, I thought, and raised some good comments. I made a video going through my vintage 20-year-old Attack of the Clones collection. I expected that to get a bit more attention, but it just didn't. But I guess it still feels weird to me that Attack of the Clones, is 20 years ago, or more than that now. But it was something I was looking forward to. It was kind of cracking the seal on my like literally hermetically sealed almost like memorabilia that I'd kept for 20 years from that film when I was a teenager. I released a video called The Multiverse of Madness X Pink Floyd, a movie mashup. So this is just a scene from the new Doctor Strange movie where every time he goes through a new multiverse, I played a new Pink Floyd song. I was really happy with that. It was just a fun little kind of movie mashup. I started reviewing the works of Aki Kaurismäki, and this is where my channel started to change towards the end of 2022. So I reviewed Crime and Punishment and Calamari Union from the Aki Kaurismäki box set. And I used a lot of clips, and I really enjoyed the process of that. And I thought, I want to just do more of this. And so then I started reviewing Blu-rays and kind of rebooting my Blu-ray review series from many, many years ago. But now using images, pictures and video clips to illustrate the things I'm talking about, and doing unboxings and kind of getting back into that side of YouTube. And to be honest, I thought I was going to pick up more traction in the views by doing more Blu-ray centric stuff. But I think because it was so specific, it just didn't really latch on as much as I thought it would. But then what I started to do was really go in depth on some of these things. And it started really with my review of The Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is, I think, just here somewhere. Yeah, it's on the shelf. There's some slips I'll have to throw on the floor there. 2 seconds. An amazing release from Eureka. And I thought, I'm such a big Eureka fanboy with this big collection behind me. Why don't I review these things as they come out? It'll force me to watch these things instead of them sitting on the shelves for years and being a more part of the current conversation of people who might be buying and watching the same things. That hasn't really happened as such, but I have really enjoyed the comments of people saying that they feel motivated to buy these Blu-rays now that they've seen my review. And I've sold it for them, because that for me is really exciting to kind of, maybe convince someone to go down the path of buying a silent film on Blu-ray, because I realize that's not the most popular thing in the world. And I love kind of hearing from people that they've watched a silent film because of a video that I made or something like that. And so that's been really rewarding, but the views have been really low. And the interesting thing is I'm now spending a week on these videos. So that's watching the film, looking at all the extras, filming inserts of the packaging and the booklet and things, then doing my review, talking about all the extras, talking about the film, and then ripping the Blu-ray, getting clips from the extras, getting clips from the film itself, kind of organizing those, using those in the edit, getting pictures, and then doing effects on the pictures and video clips to make it look nice and fancy. I love doing that stuff. It's more time intensive, and I just feel so much more happy with the final result. I have, I'm not sure how many I've done now. The Blu-ray review series now stands at 8 videos, and I'm really happy with all of those videos. It's, I can probably look through my video list and go, oh yeah, I did a nothing, 10-minute video talking about this Blu-ray 3 years ago. I forgot that I did that. It's just me sat in front of a camera. But now I put this extra effort in, it feels like more of a production to me. I feel more proud of it, at least as proud as you can be of something that's fairly, nothing anyway. But I'm really happy with those videos. I'm proud of them, and I think they're good videos. I think I present them well. I think that visually they're done well. But I also realize that most people, like even myself, are more than likely listening to these videos and not watching all the fancy kind of embellishments and stuff. But it is what it is, and I think the extra effort is worth it. And I've talked about this in the past, where it's like I feel like, yeah, I could, make 50 videos a year where I spend a lot of time on each one, and they're really high quality, and then people really come to expect a really great kind of video presentation style from me. Or I can do 150 videos a year, which I just kind of, I didn't even think about that, but just going on the the amount of videos I released in 2019, I could do 150 videos where it's just me in front of a camera talking about the films, and I can get more stuff out, because I'm telling you, there on any given day, I have 30, 40, 50 ideas for videos. There's so many videos I'll never make because there's just not enough time. And I think that what I want to do is maybe mix it up and just do the time intensive ones like the Blu-ray reviews, but also just do just regular old me blathering on in front of a camera for 20 minutes with no editing. Because there was a thrill to that too, where I'd film 3 videos in a night and then get them all up within the next 2 days, like, and schedule them and stuff. Whereas now it's like I film a video, it's a whole production. It takes a week to kind of, when I say it takes a week, I mean it takes a week of the little free time I have every day. It's not like I spend a full week editing these things. They're not that crazy, and there's nothing really impressive about them. It's just putting in the extra time. But it has been disheartening. I don't usually care about views, but you pour so much into a video and it gets like, struggles to break 100 views. It's like, man, but then again, you're talking about very niche kind of releases in a way as well. And I also think that a lot of other Blu-ray YouTubers have a lot more popularity, probably because of their personality. I'm not a very interesting presenter, I don't think. And that's not me trying to be like fake humble or anything. I just don't. I feel like I have a very boring kind of droning voice and everything, and I fucking hate listening to my voice sometimes. But I do enjoy the way the videos come out in the end as well. So there's a bit of a push and pull there. There's definitely I think I do a good job, but I also find myself grating at the same time. I started re-uploading segments from my John Carpenter marathon just to kind of get some individual reviews up on the channel, and just for people who are never going to watch those big movie marathons, they can see my thoughts on Dark Star, or the Kurt Russell Elvis movie. And there's actually been some decent views in those and some good comments, so that was good. It's just a way to buffer the channel while I'm working on the reviews that take a lot longer. So yeah, so I've done some reviews. I really like the review I did of On the Beach. I really got deep on that one in terms of just talking about the film. Of course, the big one for me was the Holy Grail update, where I kind of finally got one of my absolute favorite films of all time on Blu-ray, and I was so excited about it. And I'm doing now announcement videos talking about the Eureka announcements every month to kind of fully integrate that kind of Eureka kind of hype into my channel, and just continue reviewing those releases and stuff, because I'm really enjoying what they're putting out. I reviewed The Most Dangerous Game. I reviewed or did kind of an overview of the 4K of the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and then a 3-part review of the MOC release Son of the White Mare, which I was so passionate about. I'm really happy with those videos because I was really excited about them, and I think my passion really shone through on those films. But again, very niche. Like one of them has 106 views, one of them has 80 views. It's like, man, but I get it. I really get it, because I'm really pushing on the border now of what most people are interested in, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I get it. It's the nature of the game. And then also at the end of the year, I launched a new series, Cameron, King of the World Special Edition, a sequel series to my original Cameron King of the World series from 2021, and I released a few videos in that series, and you can hear all about that on the channel if you so wish. So that was the 2022 in review. It was a good year. I'm really liking doing the new Blu-ray review stuff and using clips. It's exciting. It's kind of satisfying for me to fill the video with images and clips that are really cool rather than my face for the whole thing, you know. But the problem is I get so finicky about like what frame I drop in the clip. Like, what is my face like this? You know, when the clip ends, and if it is, I have to move the clip, but then the clip gets too long or too short. Then I gotta figure something out. Gotta cut out a frame or two there from underneath the clip. So I get too drawn into it, and that's why it takes me so long. And it's kind of an annoyance, I suppose. But either way, I'm enjoying doing them. And I want to say thank you to the people who have said they really like the new presentation style of those videos, because not many people comment on them, and that's another thing. I feel like starting over, and not like I feel like starting over. I feel like the channel is almost starting over because, you know, when I'm putting out loads of videos, not loads, but a decent amount, and they're getting like 100 views, and I have like 9.5 thousand subscribers, and I know that the nature of the game is that, you know, however many subscribers you have, your consistent viewer base is a tiny fraction of that. But it's gone down, really. The more subscribers I get, the less views that I get. And it might just be people being less interested, and that's totally fine. But I'm kind of preferring that. I'm almost liking being back in that pocket where there's not really many people watching, and so I can kind of do my own thing and not get bothered too much by people. But you know, it is disheartening, you know, to kind of to give you complete transparency when you get like 2 comments, you know. And I see other people who release videos in the Blu-ray community now, and I'll watch their videos and stuff, and I'll go, oh, I'll leave a comment on that. I look in the comments, there's like 100 comments, and I'm like, Jesus. And in some cases, I'll have more views than them, but, you know, a fifth, or not a fifth, like 5% of the comments. And I'm thinking, what am I doing wrong to not get the engagement, you know? But it is what it is, and I've never played the YouTube game. Individually, I do. Like, if there's a video I'm making, like a Blu-ray update, yeah, I try and make a thumbnail that make people click on the video and so on and so forth. But I've never like gone, oh, I need to make this video because it'll be popular. I've always done the videos that I want to make, and sometimes that lines up with things that do get hits, like the Blu-ray updates. The Blu-ray update videos always get hits, and lots of comments, which is great. I love comment. I just love the interaction. I love just talking to other people, because my main daily life doesn't consist of much of that kind of conversation. I have, you know, friends in work I talk to about films, but Blu-ray collecting, that's when it's just like, you know, the eyes glaze over and stuff. So it's a specific kind of part of being a movie fan, a Blu-ray collector and stuff, that I don't have anyone to talk to about that for the most part. I do have friends, but you know, it's nice to get a broader net of opinions and feelings and thoughts. And I was banned from the Blu-ray.com forum. So that's cut off from me now as well, which is interesting. And I almost made a video about that because I couldn't believe how cuntish the admins were on the Blu-ray.com forum. Because what happened was they'd done something really shitty, and they just censored a lot of comments and just like, you know, just deleted shit. And I just thought, like, and I made a comment, and I was saying, like, man, I can't believe like that it's you guys taking this that seriously. Like, I don't think I'm gonna hang around here for that much longer. So they just deleted me and sent me a message saying, well, you said you were leaving, now it's official, smiley face. And I was like, okay. So I made another account and kind of left a comment and kind of said, like, you know, can we sort this out? Probably not, I'm assuming. You're just going to delete me again, I guess. Like, it's childish, but whatever. They deleted me again and blocked me, so I can't even access it. So there's those things where it's just like, oh man, the community aspect. So anyone who does comment, just know that I get extra enjoyment now because I feel like the comments are so rare compared to what it was a few years ago. That's also the nature of the game, the way things change, and you know, viewership changes, and people move on, and you know, move on to different channels and things like that, and that's totally fine. But I do feel more isolated on my channel now. It feels like I'm back in the days of like having 1,000 subscribers as opposed to 9,000. But part of me does enjoy that. At the same time, I don't feel any pressure which is nice. But then I also enjoyed it when I felt like people cared enough, like the movie marathons. I feel like if I was to say now, hey guys, the next 24-hour movie marathon is coming out next week, no one would care because I feel like my audience now is kind of, it's like a new generation almost. And so the people who love my movie marathons from way back when, are gone, it feels like, and I don't see comments from them anymore. And so it's almost like, do I even bother finishing? Of course I will, but yeah, there's been completely honest, there's been some disheartening moments in the past year or so, but it's nothing that big either. I'm still loving YouTube. I always will, I think, and or at least I'll always love making these kinds of videos, regardless of whether YouTube sticks around forever. But yeah, looking forward ahead to 2023. There'll be more of the Cameron King of the World special edition stuff. I want to get back to the Epic Film Challenge too. I want to get back to conquering my collection stuff. There's all these spinning series, and that's probably what puts people off from being consistent viewers and commenters. I think is that I never really have a strict schedule, and it's always based on what I'm more interested at the time. And I think that speaks to what I believe is an ADD kind of trait, which I've been looking into recently. I won't get into the whole thing there. And I know people roll their eyes at that, and I kind of did, but it's so much of it makes sense. And it's not the hyperactivity, it's the, what's the term? I have been looking into it quite a bit, but it's the attention deficit disorder, where it's I forgot the term, but it's basically when your mind wanders, not that you're like all hyper and stuff, but your mind goes to one thing and you start doing it and you get excited about it and you get really obsessive about it. And then there's something else, you're like, that would be great. And then you go and do that, and the other thing kind of it leaves your mind, and you kind of forget about it. And there's a term for it, and I forget what it was. It's not disassociation, but it's yeah, but it's that kind of, you get distracted very easily, and that has been me my whole fucking life, and it has caused problems. And I'm like, holy shit, maybe that's actually the reason. Haven't looked into it, haven't really got, spoken to anyone, but I do suspect, because the traits I see in my family too, and it makes so much sense. But anyway, I think that's part of why my YouTube channel is kind of stagnating in terms of engagement. The subscribers are going up, the views aren't really going up, they're going down, and the comments are going down, and I think that's to do with how scattershot the whole presentation is. So I don't think that's going to change, because I don't want to try and I'm not a play in the game kind of guy. I'll do what feels fun for me to do at the time, I guess, but I do in my heart of hearts want to get back to stuff that I've neglected, and that includes the 24-hour movie marathons. And to talk about that, I've filmed 8, 9, 10, and 11. We're filming 12 this year. Having 5 in the can unreleased is pretty bad. 8 is like 90% done and edited. I just need to film a few more of the skits, but this is a marathon that took place 4 years ago now? Yeah, 4 years ago. Holy shit. When we lived just outside London. But, they become more valuable to me now, because I can look back at that 2019 movie marathon and see my cat Lily, who's no longer with us, and it's like, man, that's captured, and I love the marathons for how they capture certain periods of our life. But again, I won't waffle on too much about that, because I think people will probably get sick of it, and there's been many false promises from me in terms of when these marathons are going to come out, but I'd like to get 9 done so I can release 8 and 9 very quickly within each other, because there is a grand plan to the whole thing. But yeah, so I want to try and work on that. But then, of course, doing the intensive Blu-ray reviews, that eats up my time, so it's, God knows. I wish I had more time. I know how James Rolfe feels now.
Because honestly, I just don't have the time.
I want to write books. I have book ideas. I have a book idea that relates to my YouTube channel. I want to finish my novel, do a second draft of that. I want to read more books. I want to play more games. I want to watch more movies. I want to watch all the Blu-rays in my collection. I want to watch more new release movies and keep on top of that, because that keeps slipping away from me. And there's just never enough time.
Time sucks.
And you just have to accept the fact that when you die, you'll die thinking, man, there's thousands of things I still wanted to do. Such is the pitfalls of modern life. Any life, I would assume, actually. And I don't know if that's just me, where I have so many things I want to do. A lot of it is just movies I want to watch, or something small or as simple as that. But it does become a thing where it's just like, it gets a bit overwhelming at times, I think. And even with YouTube, where there's so many videos I want to make, and I'll be working all day thinking about the videos I want to make, and then I almost kind of forget, did I make that video because I was thinking about it so much, or did I not? Will I have time to? Probably not, you know.
I don't have time.
So there's all these different things spinning. So look forward to the 2023, maybe, I don't know. Great sell, Luke. But if you're watching this far into the video, thank you. I apologize. It's been a very rambling shit show, but yeah. Anyway, so I'm happy with the channel for sure. I just I wish I knew the secret to unlocking more engagement and comments with people. Maybe it's the fact I don't reply to some of them. Like I'll kind of I like to kind of let them build up a bit and then do like a mass reply, and then some of them get lost in the shuffle. Maybe people think, well, fuck that guy. I left him a nice comment and he never replied, and it's like, I wanted to, but I was just waiting for it, and I get distracted. I get distracted easily by so many things, and then, you know, things fall to the wayside. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. How do I end these things? Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I could mention or tease. There really isn't, you know. I'll make what I make. There's a lot of Blu-ray updates to come, that's for sure. I want to get back to the Aki Kaurismäki videos. I want to go back to the Epic Film Challenge 2, covering my collection. There's lots of stuff. There's always lots of stuff that I want to do. So stay tuned for 2023 and you'll see 10% of what I wanted to do, I guess. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.